People often ask me what my nutritional philosophy is, so I thought, why don't I put it on video? I'm a nutritionist and I'm an ultra-endurance athlete, and I help other people push themselves past their limits. So I do know a lot about this stuff, so I understand why people ask me that question. And the reality of our information age now is that we all have access to so much information about nutrition and fitness that it can be very hard to sort through what's right and what's right for me. Actually, a lot of what I do as a nutritionist is just help people kind of sort through that information and decide what makes the most sense for them. So my opinion about nutritional philosophy is that we worry too much about it. We make it way tougher than it needs to be. And that there are certain principles that transcend all the other ways of being. You know, we like to define ourselves. I'm a vegetarian, I'm a fruitarian, I'm a paleo, I'm a primal. And there are great things about all of those things, and there are things that may not be so great about all of those things, in my opinion. So, again, I think there are some very basic principles that transcend all of the labels that we like to call ourselves. And if you focus on those, you're going to be healthier, you're going to perform better than if you didn't focus on those things. And you don't need to make it that hard. This stuff is very, very simple. It may not be easy. We have a lot of brain wiring around why we make the nutritional choices that we do. But it's very simple. So the 5 are: stay in a healthy calorie window. What do I mean by that? Hopefully you get to a point where you let hunger be your guide, and you eat when you're hungry and you don't eat when you're not hungry. But there is a point at which calories do matter. If you eat more calories than you need, you're going to gain weight. If you don't eat as many calories as you need, you're going to lose weight. So there are a variety of ways to figure out what a healthy calorie window is before you learn to listen to your body. But the best way is just an app. Lose It or Fit Day or Live Strong, there's a bunch out there. But easy, free apps you can use on your phone and your computer that will help you determine for you and your activity level and your age and gender about where you should be. Very, very simple. And that also has the added benefit of bringing mindfulness to what you're eating. And when you are tracking what you're doing, you're going to realize, wow, I eat more or less or whatever it is. But being aware of it will, by its very nature, help you make better food choices. So that's 1, stay in a healthy calorie window. 2, eat a bunch of vegetables. That is something that's true across the board for every healthy diet that's ever been studied. It includes many, many vegetables. Vegetables are like nature's multivitamin. They're packed with nutrients, they're very low in calorie, they're dense in terms of the effect it has on your satiety, being full. So you can almost eat as many vegetables as you want, but they will keep you healthy, they will help you not get sick. Vegetables are fantastic additions and necessary additions to any healthy diet. So you've probably heard half your plate should be green or colored. That's a good rule of thumb. Just think about loading up on vegetables. You almost can't eat too many vegetables. So include the veggies. 3, stay away from processed food and sugar. Again, that's a no-brainer. You've probably heard that. You may not be doing it though, and you might not know where the processed foods and sugars are, or even what processed food is. So a good rule of thumb is if it's in a box, if we create it as humans, if you can't kill it or pick it from the ground, it's probably processed, and it probably has sugar in it. So, breads, pastas, rice, all of that stuff, if you don't remove it completely, I would encourage you to reduce it quite a bit, because it's not doing you much good. I like to think of food in terms of bang for my buck. A donut and an apple with almond butter may both have 300 calories, but the apple with almond butter is going to give me a lot in terms of nutrients and quality compared to that donut. So I encourage you, every time you put food in your mouth, think about what kind of bang for my buck am I getting? And processed foods and sugars are giving you 0 bang for your buck, jacking up your blood sugar, increasing your inflammatory response, just not helping you at all. So reduce or remove the sugars and processed foods as much as possible. Next, balance blood sugar. How do we balance blood sugar, and why is it important? So when we eat, our insulin spikes in response to the sugar that we're consuming. That's normal. When we eat simple carbohydrates, that happens quicker, and our blood sugar goes like this all day long. And we're learning that that is really problematic in terms of the creation of all of our Western diseases. You know, all of cancer, heart disease, all of that stuff is really affected by blood sugar spiking and dropping. So the great news is it's very easy to balance your blood sugar. Just include fat or protein every time you eat, because they are much slower in terms of the blood sugar response. So avocados, nuts, seeds, coconut oil, meat and dairy are all fat and protein products. So just include a little bit. You don't have to include a lot. Just try to include a little protein or fat every time you eat. And then the last one, and the most important one, don't try to be perfect. Life is too short to try to be perfect, and quite frankly, you set yourself up for failure when you try to be perfect. You know, how many of you recognize this? Oh, I'm going to eat so good. And you do it for 2 or 3 days, and then you go to a birthday party and you have a slice of cake, and then you're mad at yourself and you feel guilty. So maybe you have another piece of cake to make you feel better. And then it's Saturday midday, so you've already shot Saturday. And the weekend is already shot, so Sunday you eat whatever you want. And then Monday you tell yourself you're going to get back on track. We've all done that before. That's human nature. Again, the kind of the yo-yo, I'm perfect, I'm not perfect. I'm perfect, I'm not perfect. And that is not a healthy strategy for success or for mental health, quite frankly. So a better way to approach that is to just try to stay in the zone. Recognize that life includes birthday parties and cake and a glass of wine and dessert every now and again. And if you plan for that and you're mindful of it and you try to move toward your goals 80% of the time instead of away from your goals, eventually you're going to get there and you're going to be happier for it. So pay attention to those 5 things. Don't worry about what nutritional label you put on yourself. Find what works for you and have fun with it. And don't worry about being perfect.